All right, so this video is the first in our series on 4/4 rhythms, and I want to start with the Baladi. So Baladi is also known as Masmoudi Saghir or Small Masmoudi. So Masmoudi Kabir or Big Masmoudi is an 8-beat rhythm, whereas this would be similar beat structure, but shorter amount of time. So this is again 4/4, so this is 4 beats per measure. Every quarter note gets the 1 beat. Okay, so I just wanted to briefly talk about what the term Baladi means and sort of the context of this rhythm. So Baladi is an Arabic word that translates to country. So this word has several meanings. So in some contexts, to use the word Baladi, that would be considered almost like, not quite a derogatory, but like thinking in, American English, like if you were to call someone like a bumpkin sort of thing. I know that that's, so it's a similar connotation depending on who you're talking to. But for others, Baladi is a term of pride and is considered a very positive thing. It speaks to one's roots, to one's cultural background, and also one's community. So this term can sometimes be used to refer to the drum rhythm. You might also hear it as a dance style, and Baladi dance style is sort of where some of these folkloric roots of belly dance come from. If you watch sort of classic Baladi, you can really see where we get a lot of the movements and sort of flavor of our sort of modern American fusion belly dance. Big heavy influence there. Also, Baladi can be used to refer to a style of music which accompanies the dance. If you are kind of exploring the world of Arabic music, belly dance music, the term Baladi might come up a lot. Also, the Baladi can be a term that we use to talk about the progression of the music. A lot of times a Baladi progression will start out very slow and very earthy and grounded, and through the piece will gain momentum and perhaps pick up in tempo or energy, and the dancer is more or less following that train of musical thought. So this rhythm for me is probably one of the first rhythms that I learned when I was starting to explore the style of drumming. It's very close to my heart because I feel like even American dancers, this is a rhythm that I feel like is very easily recognizable. It's easy to dance to, and it does again sort of harken back to this idea of community and just sort of everyday people dancing together, and that's something that I think is translatable regardless of where you're dancing in the culture of origin or in other regions throughout the world. And so for that reason, it can be a very unifying rhythm. And I also feel like if you pull this rhythm out at like a hafla or dance party, it's kind of a note to say that, like, okay, now we're going to get into it. Now we're going to get the party started and have a good time. So with that said, let's get into the actual rhythm. So, well, actually, before I pull the drum out, let's talk it out. So, Baladi rhythm, the skeleton of it is going to be, before we start that, I'm sorry, I had one more side note that I wanted to mention. The Baladi, or Masmoudi Saghir, is also a member of what's sometimes known as the Maksum family of rhythms. So these are all 4/4 rhythms that have a very similar beat structure, but some variation in terms of where the bass and the treble tones fall. But we'll get more into that as we move through our 4/4 rhythms. So for our Baladi, we're going to speak it as a Dun-Dun-Tek-Dun-Tek, 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 Dun-Dun-Tek-Dun-Tek. Okay, so that's the skeleton, and we will work with one way that we can vary this as we go on in this video. So we'll just start again, as we do with most of our rhythm tutorials, with just starting on that bass note. So it's going to be a Dun-Dun-Tek-Dun-Tek, 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 Dun-Dun-Tek-Dun-Tek. Now we'll add our treble tones in. 5, 6, ready, and Dun-Dun-Tek-Dun-Tek, 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 Sorry. We're going to keep going on that. I am just going to flip my frame drum around. I just wanted to give you that view if you're following along on your doumbek or goblet drum, just kind of to see where the hand placement would be on this. Honestly, when I play my frame drum, I usually don't play in this particular manner, so this feels very unnatural to me, so I'm just going to flip it around as we continue. So again, it's so you kind of get a feel of where that skeleton rhythm is. So I want to kind of go over a common variation that you'll hear on. This is it's technically an embellishment, but it's a very simple embellishment that you can kind of fill this rhythm in with a bit. So thinking about our tek spaces, instead of just playing that single note, it's going to be a tek-a-tek. So we'll just practice that for a second. It's going to be tek-a-tek, 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 and a 1. Da-da-da. Tek-a-tek, right, so we'll try that first, filling in that first treble tone that we hit. So it'll be a dun-dun-tek-a-tek, dun-tek, dun-dun-tek-a-tek, dun-tek, dun-dun-tek-a-tek, dun-tek, dun-dun-tek-a-tek, dun-tek. Okay, very nice. Now let's try that again. This time we'll hit that tek-a-tek on the second treble tone in the skeleton rhythm. So that'll sound like tek, tek-a-tek. Tek, tek-a-tek. Tek, tek-a-tek. Tek, tek-a-tek. Very nice. Now let's try that together. So both treble tones, we will hit that tek-a-tek. Okay, so 5, 6, ready, and tek-a-tek, 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 tek-a-tek. All right, very nice. So let's just throw one last thing in there before we end this video. So again, we've been playing that Tek-a-Tek on our treble sections. So for this one, we're just going to throw in an extra Tek-a on the last treble tone. So it's just like a little pickup that kind of loops the rhythm back around to the beginning. And so to play that, it's going to sound like Dun-Dun-Tek-a-Tek, Dun-Tek-a-Tek, Tek-a, Dun-Dun-Tek-a-Tek, Dun-Tek-a-Tek, Tek-a, Dun-Dun-Tek-a-Tek, Dun-Tek-a-Tek, Tek-a, Dun-Dun-Tek-a-Tek. Alright, so that's just a little intro to our Baladi rhythm, or our Masmoudi Saghir. I know this is definitely a rhythm that we're going to keep coming back to, especially as we start getting into a little bit more about embellishments and adding a little bit of personal flair into our rhythm. So thanks for joining me on this one, and I look forward to the next. Thank you.